The Dallas Cowboys have decided to hog tie Dak Prescott, putting a franchise tag on his toe. The Cowboys essentially said, look, you can only negotiate with us, and that's it. To see the definition for a franchise tag player, we have to go to the National Football League's collective bargaining agreement, the new version of which was released March 5th of 2020. That was just last week, and that is right here. And it reads as follows. Franchise and transition players. Section 1, franchise player designations. Except as set forth in Section 9 below, each club shall be permitted to designate one of its players who would otherwise be an unrestricted free agent as a franchise player each season during the term of this agreement. The player so designated may be one who would otherwise be a restricted free agent, except as set forth in Section 2A1 below. Any club that designates a franchise player shall be the only club with which such franchise player may negotiate or sign a player contract during the period the player is so designated, notwithstanding the number of his accrued seasons. The period for clubs to designate franchise players will begin on the 22nd day preceding the first day of the new league year and will end at 4 o'clock p.m. New York time on the 8th day preceding the first day of the new league year. Section 2. Required tender for franchise players. Except as provided in subsection B below, any club that designates a franchise player shall, on the date of the designation, which is today for Dak, is made notify the player. This is a typo. Except as provided in subsection B below, any club that designates a franchise player shall, on the date of the designation is made, notify the player, and the NFLPA which one of the following two potential required tenders the club has selected. Either a non-exclusive franchise tender or an exclusive franchise tender. A non-exclusive franchise tender is defined as a one-year NFL player contract for the average of the 5 largest prior year salaries for players at the position within the categories set forth in Section 7A below. So basically, Dak could make the same money as Jimmy Garoppolo made in this, or Matt Ryan, if the Cowboys decided to lock him in for this non-exclusive franchise tender, a one-year player contract for the average of the 5 largest prior year salaries for players at the position. And so that's if the Cowboys decided to make it a non-exclusive franchise tender. Now, if it is an exclusive franchise tender, it means that it's a one-year NFL player contract for the average of the 5 largest salaries and player contracts for that league year, as at the end of the restricted free agent signing period, league year as set forth in Article 9, for players at the position within the categories set forth in Section 7A below, which he participated in the most plays. During prior league year. The amount of the required tender under subsection A1 above, whichever is greater. Any club that designates a player as a franchise player for the third time shall on the date of that third such that that such designation is made be deemed to have tendered the player a 1-year NFL player contract for the greater of A, the average of the 5 largest prior salaries for players at the position within the category set forth in subsection 7A below, with the highest average, such average B, 120% of the average of the 5 largest prior year salaries for players at the position, with the category set forth in section 7A below, at which the player participated in the most plays during the prior league year, or C, 144% of his prior year's salary. This is not Dak Prescott, however, because this was not his third time being tagged as a franchise player. It's his first time. So that doesn't apply to Dak. But it's clear the Cowboys want to lock in Dak for a salary contract that is comparable to the top 5 money earners in the NFL. So that's a way of getting him to lock in, and also says on the part of the Cowboys that they're not interested in paying him to make him the highest paid quarterback, but they do want him to be within the church of the highest paid quarterbacks. Subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com.